Hey gang, so Australia 5, Indonesia 1. I think this game in particular, a lot of people will look at it and criticize the federation because we always knew that after they fired Shin Tae-yong after the Saudi Arabia victory, we knew that the next game is going to be the important one because they promised basically, hey, this is going to be like a new era, etc., etc. Well, the new era starts with a 5-1 drubbing in Sydney. And I get the idea. I do get it. The team was very defensive before and playing mostly only counter. And maybe they wanted something a bit more fluid and they wanted to go toe to toe with the top teams. But that's what happens when you go toe to toe with the top teams. You're going to get completely wiped out. And that's what happened. Now, I'm absolutely like furious about the game because there were just so many moments in it which I thought were completely unfair. So first of all, you get the penalty. I think it was Dix who wasn't it who took it, and he manages somehow to kick it against the bar. I don't really know how professional players do that because the goal is pretty huge. The keepers are getting better and better. That's true, but look, guys, this is all they do. These players, that's all they do, like 24/7. They kind of live and breathe football. So I don't know how you manage to miss the target. At least hit the target. Like, yeah, you can say it was saved or whatever, but at least like hit the target. And then Australia gets a lucky penalty. This was not a penalty, okay? This was absolutely. Um, I think at one point they actually showed Clivert, and he was telling the official that this is a joke. This is a joke. I mean that's what the commentator said anyway. It's a complete joke. That was not a penalty, and that was a lucky goal. And Australia is one of those teams where look, they're very professional. You got to give them that. They're professional, and they're very solid as well. However, they are not exciting whatsoever. I know that they qualify for tournaments like on a regular basis. However, once they get to these tournaments, this is a team that I just don't want to watch. There is nothing exciting about them whatsoever. And this game today was a good example of that. So then they get this lucky penalty and they score. Then it's kind of like a comical error in the middle of the park. It's kind of like a very lucky deflection that wrong foots everybody, and you end up with a Australian player 1-1 against the keeper. Completely lucky goal once again, and I'm sure like against better opposition, that goal just doesn't happen. And the third goal, it's a kind of crazy ping pong game in the box, and again they get like a lucky rebound. That ball could have gone, pretty much anywhere, but it goes back to the player, and he manages to put it into the corner. But again, this is not some kind of great skill or amazing ability or anything like that. It's just a lucky goal, and due to this kind of very bad luck, you're suddenly 3-0 down, and you're not going to come back from that. You're not. The fourth goal, I would say like the last two goals not were just kind of poor defending. The fourth one, just again, there's a player unmarked in the box. You can't do that at that level. You can't let players like one-on-one like that. I know that Australia pride themselves on set kicks, set pieces, I should say, and that's fine. But that was just not defended whatsoever. Then Indonesia get a goal back finally 4-1. Too late though, definitely too late. Great goal. Um, Romani, I think he had a great game actually overall, especially on his debut as well. I think he definitely was probably the better player at least. I'm not sure if it was the best, but and then the fifth goal again, it's a corner, and again kind of comical defending in the box. There's nobody marking the player. Well, actually, there is, but then they lose the marker, and it's a free header. So, look, guys, I mean, I didn't expect anything from this game, but the kind of nature of this defeat is very frustrating, I would say. Because, like, if you just lose to a better team, you can say, okay, well, you know what, they were better than us. But the nature of the goals was like, come on, like three of them were just pure luck, especially the penalty. That was not a penalty. Anyway, so now the only kind of positive of today is that Japan beat Bahrain and now they're qualified, so they don't really have to care about the remaining games too much, and that might play in the favor, but it might also go against everybody, right? Because if they just kind of give points away, um, that's going to be bad. So next game against Bahrain on Tuesday is going to be absolutely massive, guys. I don't know if you it's at 8:45 kickoff, I think, in Jakarta. Guys, you have to make that stadium hell for the opposition. You absolutely have to rock it, whoever is going there on the day. And you have to make the atmosphere absolutely hell for the opposition. They have to feel like hostile environment, and you have to be the 12th man on the night, because that game is massive. I think like if they don't get 3 points there, I think it's pretty much over. I know that technically it's still mathematically possible, but realistically speaking, Bahrain and China, these are kind of 6 points that you have to get. So, yep. Well, we'll see what happens on Tuesday, but today definitely like just very disappointing game, and the nature of it is probably even more disappointing than the actual result. So, yeah. All right. Take care, guys. Peace.